Hello everyone and welcome to day 10 of Trollvember and my summary video supplement for the live stream that I did that day. Today's prompt was Solitude. In my original plan, I was thinking some elderly, solitary hermit kind of character, but I was thinking of that character as male to help balance out the elderly female regret troll we already have. And I noticed that with the pattern I'm doing of male troll, female troll, male troll, female troll, and we were due for a female troll, so I scrapped the hermit idea, looked for something else to do. Ultimately, I kind of landed on a sort of goth aesthetic with this one. I'm not sure if trolls have goth stuff. Like, I'm not sure if they have the concept of that, but the idea here is that this is a troll who hides away and wants to remain in seclusion or something like that. And I'm not versed in goth culture, so I might be wrong here, but that kind of feels similar to like the general vibe. I'm not entirely sure. I also wanted to give this troll dyed hair. We already have it established that trolls do have access to hair dye, but only one of the trolls I've ever made has had access to it. Maybe two, I'm not sure. So I immediately wanted to give her two hair colors. So along the top and back of her head, I have her roots in a weird wavy pattern that's a little unnatural, not gonna lie. And beyond that is all purple dye. So I'm not sure how they get purple dye. Purple dye is supposed to be incredibly rare and expensive, but somehow she has access to it. And yeah, it's just purple hair. After that, it was a bit of a struggle in order to determine what kind of outfit she would wear. I still wasn't entirely sure if I was going for the goth aesthetic or not. I know I wanted her to have one of the darkest possible skin tones for this, just to add something there. And as a direct result of that, there's a lot of stuff you can't really pull off with this. Having certain hair and eye colors won't work. Having certain clothing colors won't work. So it was a struggle to find out what would work. My initial plan in terms of clothing was some kind of a, I don't know if it would be a tube top or some kind of a shirt where only one shoulder has support and the other ones just kind of hang loose, cling to it. I'm not sure. But that didn't end up working too well, especially not made out of hide. So I tried again, this time with cloth. This time I feel like it ended up working a lot better. I connected things better, made things look a bit more natural. Now it looks more like a shirt you would actually see someone wearing. I wasn't entirely sure what to do for pants, so after a little bit of thinking, I gave her little black shorts. And I experimented with giving her fishnets, because that felt like that. From what I'm aware, that's something goths will wear from time to time, but on the one hand, I'm not entirely sure how trolls would have access to fishnets, or if they would at all. And secondly, it just did not come out looking too well. It looked messy and weird, so ultimately I removed that idea. Maybe if it was on the second layer, then it would work, but I'm not entirely sure. I also knew pretty early on I wanted to try giving her a hood. I've already made a few trolls with hoods, so this might be getting old, but I wanted to see if I could give her a hood, because the prompt for this one was Solitude, which to me feels like closing yourself off, isolating yourself, making yourself not visible or not being around people. And I can't think of any good clothing option to display that other than a hood. Like a hood covering your face, covering your head, hiding you away from the rest of the world. For her sleeves, I decided that she would have, her shirt would extend one sleeve down on one arm and the other arm would just be bare. And I feel like that actually worked out pretty well in the end. I also gave her a vest, which would be connected to her hood and kind of just go over everything else. There was a loose concept of big-chested troll goth GF as the general feeling I'm going for here. I tried putting hair over the back of her vest and over one arm, but looking at it, if the hood is supposed to be attached to the vest, then having the hair be on top of the vest while the hood is also up makes absolutely no sense. And the hair on the arm just didn't work, so I ultimately removed both of those options. I moved the hair on her back to her skin layer to just go over top of her little on her shirt there. And yeah, the fishnets just don't work out, so ultimately I removed those. Other than that though, her design is pretty well set. There isn't too much that changes beyond this. Like I said before, I move her hair to her back on the skin layer rather than on the jacket layer. I make her adjust her hood and her hair so that they blend in better and look better overall. I give her vest the same outlining as her hood and again better connected. And I noticed, oh, she doesn't have any gold yet. Let's give her some golden bracelets. I also try giving her a leather bracelet as well, just to try that. It makes her arm look too busy. The 2 golden bracelets I can get behind, but the leather bracelet, it just doesn't work out, so I ultimately removed that. And already I'm starting to see an improvement here. I am noticing that her vest and her hood are looking a bit boring though. They're just very bland, very plain, very black. So I think, okay, they like bones, trolls like bones, so let's get some bone needles going through the fabric of the hood. Like she just has some sharp bones that she just threaded into the fabric of the hood and through the vest, and they're like pins that go through the fabric, come out the other side, and it's just decorative bone basically. And the first design I got looks okay. I eventually get it to look a little bit better, I think. I fiddle around with the bones on the back. I'm not sure if I want them to be split down the middle or just along the spine, or what would be the spine. I go back and forth with that a lot, but ultimately I decided to go with the spine look just because it's simpler, it's cleaner. There isn't too much to go with it, and ultimately I decided that for the hood, all the bones on the sides and on top will have a missing pixel between them to make it look like they're going into the hood and then coming out on the other side. I also add some of these same bone pins to the sides of her vest. I try adding them to the front of the vest, doesn't work out, but on the sides of the vest, it works great. From there, I experiment. What if she had shorter shorts? What if she had just really short shorts? It looks stupid. It looks really dumb. Let's not do that. We're gonna go back on that plan and not go through that. From here, though, her design is pretty much done. I do feel that she looks a little bit bland underneath all of her outer layers, like without her hood, without her jacket. She looks kind of bland and kind of boring, but I couldn't really think of anything to add to that. If I could improve on this character, it would be to add to that first layer something. I don't know what, but she needs something on the first layer to make her look a little less boring there. As it is, if she's not wearing the second layer, then she just looks bad. But with the second layer, I think she looks pretty good, so I'm keeping that up. And with all that done, it's ultimately just time to texture at this point, which is just my usual go-to of have some colors, have a color that is slightly brighter than it, a color that is slightly darker to it, and a color that is slightly off to the side of it, and then just click around randomly in whatever that material happens to be, and ultimately you'll get something that looks like it has a bit of a texture to it. It'll be a very random, very messy texture, but a texture nonetheless. I can't think of anything to go on either of the legs, so those are ultimately a bust. But I do believe I do put something on her other arm. She already has bones, and what's more gothy than bones and skulls? So I ultimately end up putting a little bit of a raven skull on, or some kind of a bird skull, not necessarily a raven, but some kind of a bird skull on a strap to connect it to one of her arms. With that is ultimately her final design down pat. It's just texturing and filling in any blank spaces that need extra colors going on, and we're pretty much done there. So with that, we have our gothic Solitude troll, some kind of troll who cuts herself off from the world, just wants to be left alone. I don't know if maybe she doesn't have any friends, maybe she doesn't want friends, Maybe she has friends and she's just really introverted. It could very well just be that. There could be absolutely nothing wrong with this character. She just likes being alone. She just likes having time to herself. And she has something that we as humans might consider gothic in style. Maybe she's not officially gothic. I don't know. But that's her. That's Solitude Troll. And you can be sure to come in to my stream today if you're watching this as it is uploaded, where today's prompt for day 11 of Trollvember will be Glimmer. So a little bit of bedazzling going on or something, not entirely sure. And I will see you there. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow for that video supplement going up. Yesterday's prompt of Hospital is done. I was not able to finish it at D&D, but I did do it. That doesn't mean I did do it live on stream, so I have a video for it. That video is still a work in progress. I'm gonna take some time to just finish that after making Glimmer, work on a little bit now, work on a little bit then, that kind of thing. In the meantime, I'm gonna have to say thank you everyone so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you liked it. Don't if you didn't. My name is TamTroll. This has been Trollvember Day 10, Solitude, and I will see you next time. Farewell!